Hey everyone, the numbers are in for Seychelles for February 2022. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. I'm fading a little bit. I haven't had my coffee. It's 1:45 in the afternoon, and this is like the eighth one of these I've done. But I think it's really important to explain not only what's happening in Seychelles specifically, but I want to give you a good overview of what's happening in the market. I haven't seen it this intense in 19 years of selling. The last 2 years have been very, very active in the market, and from about the second week of January this year until now, still is as intense as I've seen. So a couple of things I want to show you really quick. I want to talk a little bit about supply and demand in the market so you guys have a good understanding of just how intense this is, how hard it is for buyers to buy something, and how good it is for a seller who's selling in this market. To preview a little bit about what's going on price-wise in Seychelles, and then to also sort of preview and explain some stories of what we're doing to help people sell for more money, and show you some examples of where some people have really left tens of thousands of dollars on the table, and some mistakes that I think that are being consistently being made in the market. So let's get right to that. First of all, supply and demand. Very quickly, one more thing. It's very, very difficult for a buyer to find something right now. And when they do find something, they're very likely in a multiple offer situation. This is part of what's driving pricing so much. And think about the mindset of a buyer right now. This time of year, in a normal market, coming into beach season, people buying the beach condo are excited about it. They can use it right away. They can start to rent it right away. And they're willing to pay a little bit more for something that they like because of that immediacy of the thing. So look at what's happening. This first column, down 56%, down 50, down 49, down 52%. That's the available inventory. It's the number of units for sale right now compared to this time last year. That's down about 50% from last year. Last year was a very active market in real estate. So we now have 50% fewer condos for a buyer to buy who really wants to buy something. Another way to look at this, you guys know I have this chart. I'm not going to bore you with all of it, but look at one number here, a different number. For those of you guys have seen this a lot, 70. There's 70 condos available. If you want a new condo in Panama City Beach, new meaning 2006 or newer, you have 70 choices on its face, but there's something going on at Shores of Panama right now. We'll save that for another video. And if you look at this number right here, there are 52 units for sale at Shores of Panama right now. So rewind. You want to buy a condo. It's coming up on beach season. You really want something. Throw into the fact that this is going to be anticipated to be one of the busiest travel seasons we've seen in the summertime in so many years because of the country opening up more and more. 70 units are for sale, 52 are at Shores of Panama. So there are 18 units for sale in all of the newer buildings across the entire beach. That's efficiency, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and the few 4 bedrooms that we have. There's 18 choices. That is not a lot. Let's look at Seychelles really fast. This is just from the month of February. We had a unit closed for $427,000. We had one of the 05 stacks closed at $500,000. We're working on 908. 908's been an interesting journey. At one point we were comfortable taking a price around $429 or $432. We had a buyer that was going to live there that didn't understand condo financing very much and backed out. We raised the price a little bit because we're watching the market move up. We then got to a point of saying, hey, 439 is really the number we're comfortable with based on everything else happening. And even still now, we've moved it up again and are at 450,000. And look at that spread just in a 1 month period. This is just part of what's possible in the market. And part of what I think plenty of agents and sellers are missing is that there's much more opportunity right now very quickly than there has been in a long time. Look at this as another example. Even more dramatic. And we're talking about here $65,000. Watch this. So I was asked recently, let me back up. I was asked recently to work on a 1 bedroom condo at Calypso. This is just last week or two. As real estate agents, we're taught in our very short class very little about how to actually price real estate. You might be surprised by that. We're taught a fair amount about consumer protection, about how to handle your deposit when it comes in. We're taught a little bit about the contracts and paperwork. We're taught a very little about closing statements and how to read them, and a couple hours on valuing property. Appraisers are taught, I think it's like 1,000 hours plus of schooling, or they have to be a mentor or a protege for a year or two before they can even write an appraisal. Very intense, multi-year process on getting to value. And and those are experts, and they're still surprised by it. So real estate agents it's a very unsophisticated approach to valuation. And so unless you've been in it a long time, you're taking that very simplistic approach to that. So here's what we would be taught in real estate school on this unit, this Calypso unit I was asked to value. The 4 recent sales, only going back 60 days. As agents, we were originally taught 6 months, which would be ludicrous in this market. We were asked this unit sold for 450, 455, 460, and 460. Recent 60 days or so. I could see one approach very reasonably from a real estate agent that would say, okay, 469 or 475 or 479. That's still higher than the top of the market. And this is where appraised values will be. And this is how you get something closed, because the bank will say X or the appraiser will say X. Some sellers might think, even without an agent, wow, if I could get 470,000, I'm 10,000 more than the last guy. And then if I don't even need an agent, I could save 5 or 6%. And wow, look how good I'm doing at 470 or 475. Ooh, maybe I get crazy and go to 479. That all sounds pretty good. That's $15,000 and $20,000 more than the last sale. The short version is we put that at $525,000 and had a contract on it before it got to the market. That's the kind of demand we have right now. I can tell you 4 more stories at the top of my head. 1.3 million, the recent sale was 900,000. 1.01 million, 20,000, the recent closing was 900,000. 539,000, the recent sale was 500,000. Those are the kind of numbers I think are possible. Those are the kind of numbers we're doing. And to get there, I'll tell you a little bit about the approach. This is kind of the secret sauce. First of all, you have to understand the supply and demand dynamics. I've been doing this for 19 years, so I understand the market a fair amount. Still learning every day. But when I look at that and see that there are only 18 choices for buyers, and that's not close to Pier Park, far from Pier Park, high floor, low floor, heated pool, no heated pool, all those things, there's almost nothing to buy. I've had more conversations with people from Seattle, Iowa, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, all places over the country than I've ever seen before. We were always Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia. We're not that anymore. We're showing up in Wall Street Journal articles, Forbes articles. This is a different world we're living in. Factor in COVID and some of that stuff. Factor in extreme rental rates. All that stuff's good. So we can price up a lot higher. You have to look at what you're competing with. And when there's no competition, you can really push the envelope. Then to really make this work, you have to have amazing professional photography. You have to have amazing videography. In fact, what we're doing, I'm participating now in a lot of the videos. If you've seen some of them, we're like 5 or 6 into these, and they're really, really, we're seeing great response from people who are looking at units they might not have otherwise looked at just from still photography. But then that's the beginning part of it. You have to distribute that message. And putting a unit for sale with a couple of pictures from a cell phone camera in a Facebook group or in your owner's group in the building isn't reaching tens of thousands of people like you could. Not saying that those things aren't important. We do plenty of that. But you can't only do that. It's very easy to get a buyer that's interested. If you whisper to one real estate agent right now, you have a condo for sale, he very likely can bring you an offer. You whisper to one person in an owner's building, they can very likely bring you an offer. They're interested. But if you understand digital marketing and email marketing and what's possible with social media ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, and reaching tens of thousands of people like that, that's where you can find someone who's willing to go 50, 60, some thousand over the market. I heard a unit last week that went for $250,000 over the last recent sale in something on 30A. I rattled off some of the ones I'm doing. That's entirely possible. So great marketing, distribute the message. That's the part I think that gets missed a lot. It's not just the MLS, it's all these other places. And then the final key, which is sometimes the hardest one and why you see units come and forth back off the market, the paperwork has to be right. The seller can't agree to sell something for $500,000 when the last sale was $450 if the buyer's offer is contingent on financing, which is contingent on an appraisal. You can't do that. You, as a seller, you can't accept that and feel confident that you're going to get the 500. You might be excited about 500 on paper. You won't get it to closing. So you have to make sure that you are putting paperwork together that gives you as a seller security that this buyer not only is saying they'll pay this, but here are the things they're doing from the beginning and through to the end that are going to promise them and lock them in to do that. With the intensity that we're seeing and the motivation from some of these buyers, we are very, very frequently negotiating 0 inspection days, no financing contingencies, even from someone using a bank. I had a conversation, I've done 2 or 3 of these recently, where the buyer's offering it's contingent on financing, but I'll pay the difference of a low appraisal up to $50,000, $70,000. So if it appraises low, we understand that. We'll make up the difference in cash. All of that's happening right now. And it's important to understand that if this time of year, especially in this moment, if someone's selling and is going to take advantage of a market like this, then the sky is almost the limit on pricing, and we're getting those deals done, and we're getting them done pretty timely. So we expect this to sort of settle down a little bit end of May. June, July, and August is much more difficult to get in and show units because so many are rented. Buyers are a little more distracted. It's the summertime. They're on vacation. They're doing things with their families. And so even motivated buyers get a little less motivated or distracted in the summertime. We still write some contracts. We don't write as many. And then we see those same buyers come back and pick up in the market end of August, September, October. But they're not as motivated. They can be a little more patient. It's the end of beach season. They're almost thinking about the next beach season. And the question I have this year, and what will be interesting to watch, is what does the world look like in September, October, August? What does the economy look like then? I've been wondering this for a couple seasons now, and we haven't slowed down through a couple of seasons. So it'll be interesting to see if we're resetting things and this part of Florida is becoming is being valued more in line with other parts of waterfront in Florida for maybe the first time. Or are we on a run in a financial market that eventually appreciation you would think would slow down? Potentially prices might need to correct at some point for some reason. So seasonally, the seasonality of our market could have a lot to do with that here, which is why now is such a critical, important time for anybody who's thinking of selling. So if you're still watching, bless you. It's 13 minutes and 23 seconds in. The market is so active that I don't want to email people all the time. I like to get one email out with a video once a month and once a week. We do our Friday coffee updates so you guys can get some sense of what's happening, but I don't want to pound you with emails. So I'm making more of a commitment to do more on social. I'm not naturally a Facebook or Instagram guy personally, but we're being more active there just so you can see we can get messaging out faster. We're putting a lot of these type of videos in our property tours on YouTube just because we can reach so many more people, but also so that we're not constantly emailing you. It's there if you want to see it. Check it out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go on to Instagram and Facebook. We're doing a lot of educational stuff too. I've got a series coming out that's going to give people pointers when they're negotiating and things like that. So you can use it if you're doing a real estate deal, or even if you have friends and family across the country who are doing stuff. I really believe I just want to help some more people. And so I think there's some things that you can do getting into deals that might be able to help. So we're going to put a lot of that on YouTube. We'll share it on social. So check it out. In the meantime, if you have any specific questions on Seychelles or the Gulfront condo market in general, again, I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching.